many people will ask the question, but really, isn't it natural to blame? And isn't it natural if somebody has violated me not to forgive them? And so I just want to slow down here and say that aggression and anger is absolutely a part of our survival equipment, and every emotion has its intelligence. Every emotion. Anger lets us know that we've been violated and we need to do something. So if somebody's injured us, anger and not forgiving, feeling armored, that armoring is like having a scab over a very raw wound. We need that for a time. But what would happen if your scabs never fell off? And if your habit became to always have scabs? That's the idea here. That anger has its time and place, as does not forgiving. But then as we gain our resilience, we start waking up out of that. We have the strength to let go and be back in the mix again. The problem is if we don't forgive, we can't move on. It's a developmental arrest. We're in a trance. And if you're aware of the habit of blame and you're listening to this, don't blame the blaming, because we all get caught in it. We can see in relationships how quickly it comes up. That as soon as we feel insulted, overlooked, misunderstood, criticized, how quickly our injury morphs right into blame. It happens to all of us. It's a primitive reaction. It's faster than the parts of us that might say, hey, wait a minute, this isn't healthy. But we get caught in it. The biggest thing is, though, when we've been hurt, we're afraid to forgive. I want to speak to that because we have a fear that if we forgive, it'll happen again, or things will get worse, that we won't be able to control it. Maybe if we forgive, then it's like saying, okay, then I was wrong. So I want to just take a moment to clarify what forgiving is and what it isn't. Forgiving's not approving. It's not like saying, oh, this was okay or right. It's not like saying it's okay that you insulted or abused me. In fact, we need wise discrimination because we need to be able to recognize when something's unhealthy, but we don't need to hate the person for it. We can disapprove of the behavior, but not hate the person. So forgiving doesn't mean that we get rid of boundaries. In fact, we need boundaries. Forgiving is a way of releasing our heart so it's not caught in blame. So we have the intelligence to know which boundaries are going to serve and which aren't. We have a fear that if we forgive, we're going to be passive. That we're going to if we let go of blame or hatred, we're just going to sit and just, people will steamroll over us. It's not so. The actual reality is that when we let go of the blaming, it opens us to a place where we get in touch with our care and our intelligence. We actually can act with more clarity. So you can say, I forgive, and vow to not let something happen again. You can really commit yourself. The point is that you're not building the scabs that cover up your heart. When we are stuck in resentment and in blame, we are in a trance. And by that I mean the world is being filtered through a primitive part of our brain, and we're no longer able to see really who the other is. We're just seeing the dimension of them that we think is the cause of wrong. And we're in a trance because we're caught in a very small sense of our own being as a victimized self. Check this out for a moment. Again, let me invite you to close your eyes and reflect. Consider someone in your close circle, someone's family or friend, somebody you have regular contact with, somebody that matters to you. but someone who you tend to feel judgmental about, where you lock into feelings of blame. And when you come up with a person, could be work, family, friend, when you come up with someone, go ahead and exaggerate a bit, but sense what it's like when you're really struck by something you're not liking about them and you're disapproving or feeling blame. Notice what your view of that person's like, what you're seeing, how they're appearing in the movie of the mind. And notice when you're fixating on their wrongness or badness, what's your experience of yourself? Are you the oppressed self, the victimized self, the righteous self, the outraged self, the wrong self? Do you like the self you are when you're judging? You might take a moment to think of this person and something that you appreciate about this person. Notice what it's like to let a quality you appreciate and the quality that you don't appreciate both be there. Our path is one of widening our attention, waking up from the trance that keeps us small and keeps others as unreal others. And what motivates us? What motivates us to let go of blame? What motivates us to let go of resentment? For most people, we're really not motivated because it's work to do it. It's like we have to come right to our vulnerability. But what motivates us is really straightforward. We start getting that it's keeping us from love. You can open your eyes now. Blame and the habit of blame, judgment and the habit of judgment keeps us from experiencing our evolutionary potential to love without holding back. It says, Charlotte Joko Beck put it, she says, our failure to know joy is a direct reflection of our inability to forgive. There's some wisdom in us that knows that, and that's what makes it worth it to us to widen the lens and challenge ourselves if we're fixated on blaming someone. Rumi writes, be ground, be crumbled, so wildflowers will come up where you are. You've been stony for too many years. Try something different. Surrender. Be ground. Be crumbled, so wildflowers will come up where you are. You've been stony for too many years. Try something different. Surrender. Thank you for your kind attention.